Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Recha Kodash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. And today we're going to go into the book of Leviticus, the 16th chapter. And the Lord Yahweh spake unto Moses after the death of the two sons of Aaron, when they offered before the Lord and died. This was, I believe, Nadab and Abihu, when they offered strange fire before the Lord. So sometime after that, the Lord said this. And the Lord said unto Moses, Speak unto Aaron thy brother, that he come not at all times into the holy place within the veil before the mercy seat. And let's pull up another image here. Tabernacle in the wilderness Bible. Okay, you can use this here. Seem to get a different one every time, but anyway. So what this is saying here, the Lord told Moses to tell Aaron, right, and make sure he understands that the holy place or the holy of holies, which is this area with the ark, not to just come in there at any time. Okay, that's what it means. Not at that he come not at all times. So you can't just come in there at any point in time, right? Within the veil before the mercy seat, which is upon the ark, that he die not. For I will appear in the cloud upon the mercy seat. So you can't just come in there. In fact, the Lord is now about to tell him on what occasion you can come in there. And I believe the high priest, which in this case would be Aaron, would go in there once a year to do this, right? The law of atonement. Thus shall Aaron come into the holy place with a young bullock for a sin offering, and a ram for a burnt offering. He shall put on, and the holy place is once again, right? Remember, this whole entire place is holy, right? The tabernacle, the court, and everything. That's why the Lord mentioned about anything unclean coming in here. You can't have that. So it says here, he shall put on the holy linen coat, and he shall have linen breeches upon his flesh. So that's considered like his underwear, what he would wear under, to cover himself under the coat. And he shall be girded with a linen girdle, and with the linen mitre shall he be attired. These are holy garments. Therefore shall he wash his flesh in water, and so put them on. So before putting them on, he would wash himself, right? They're holy. So he would wash himself, and then he will put them on. And he shall take of the congregation of the children of Israel 2 kids of the goats for a sin offering. So Israel would supply 2 baby goats and 1 ram for a burnt offering. And Aaron shall offer his bullock for the sin offering, which is for himself, and make atonement for himself and for his house. So for any transgressions or sins that he may have done, this would atone for that and for his family. And he shall take the 2 he-goats and present them before the Lord Yahweh at the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. So he's going to bring those two he-goats, and Aaron shall cast lots upon the 2 goats, 1 lot for the Lord, and the other lot for the scapegoat. So by casting lots, he would be able to determine which goat the Lord has chosen to be a sacrifice to him, and which one would be a scapegoat. And we'll see basically what the purpose of the scapegoat is. And Aaron shall bring the goat upon which the Lord's lot fell, and offer him for a sin offering. So the lot falls on one of them. Aaron brings that. That's going to be a sin offering unto the Lord. But the goat on which the lot fell to be the scapegoat shall be presented alive before the Lord Yahweh to make an atonement with him, and to let him go for a scapegoat into the wilderness. And its purpose would basically be to bear the sins of the nation, and then it would be released into the wilderness. And Aaron shall bring the bullock of the sin offering, which is for himself, and he shall make an atonement for himself and for his house, and shall kill the bullock for the sin offering, which is for himself. And he shall take a censer full of burning coals, and this is what a censer looks like. Censer. Something like this, okay? Yeah, something like this, or this, or this, where you could walk around with it. And it's basically like it burns incense, right? It has coals in it, and then you would put the incense in there, and then it would burn, right? It would burn. So you could walk around with it. It's not like a stationary thing. Or you could also place it somewhere. Oh, that's a pretty nice picture here. Yeah, shit, not too bad. Cool. So it says here, right? He shall take a censer full of burning coals of fire from the altar before the Lord Yahweh, and his hands full of sweet incense beaten small. So you're gonna grind those incense small. So from the stone like chunks, they're gonna be made very tiny. So he's gonna take a handful of that, and then he's gonna bring an incense full of burning coals and bring it within the veil. So he's gonna take that within the veil to the holy of holies. And he shall put the incense upon the fire before the Lord Yahweh, that the cloud of the incense, that's the smoke of the incense, right? Like what you see when you burn it here, right? And the cloud of the incense may cover the mercy seat that is upon the testimony, that he die not. And he shall take of the blood of the bullock and sprinkle it with his finger upon the mercy seat. So at this point, he's in here, right? Where the actual ark is. He has the incense burning the smoke. He has the censer that's burning the incense, and the smoke is filling up the area. He then takes the blood, as it says, of the bullock that he sacrificed for himself and his house. He'll dip his finger in there and sprinkle it, as it says, upon the mercy seat. Okay, and then, as it says, with his finger upon the mercy seat eastward, so you can say the east side of it. And then, right, and before the mercy seat shall he sprinkle of the blood with his finger 7 times. So upon the mercy seat and in front of it. Okay. See what it says in the NKJV. Then he must take some of the blood of the bull, dip his finger in it, and sprinkle it on the east side of the atonement cover, the mercy seat. He must sprinkle blood 7 times with his finger in front of the atonement cover. And the NIV, it says, he is to take some of the bull's blood and with his finger sprinkle it on the front of the atonement cover. Then he shall sprinkle some of it with his finger 7 times before the atonement cover. It says here, then shall he kill the goat for the sin offering, that is for the people, and bring its blood within the veil, and do with that blood as he did with the blood of the bullock, and sprinkle it upon the mercy seat and before the mercy seat. Okay, so just like he did before with the bullock, he would do the same with the goat for the people. And he shall make an atonement for the holy place because of the uncleanness of the children of Israel, and because of their transgressions in all their sins. And so shall he do for the tabernacle and for the congregation that remaineth among them in the midst of their uncleanness. So because this tabernacle is around them, and because they are also, throughout that year, they would have made themselves unclean or sinned or transgressed after certain manners, this day would be to make atonement for them, and also for the as I mentioned here, the holy place, by performing this ritual. And there shall be no man in the tabernacle of the congregation when he goeth in to make an atonement in the holy place, until he come out. So it has to only be Aaron. Nobody else is supposed to be in here when he's doing this. And have made an atonement for himself and for his household and for all the congregation of Israel. And he shall go out onto the altar that is before the Lord, and make an atonement for it, and shall take of the blood of the bullock, and of the blood of the goat, and put it upon the horns of the altar round about. And he shall sprinkle the blood upon it with his finger 7 times, and cleanse it, and hallow it from the uncleanness of the children of Israel. And when he hath made an end of reconciling the holy place, and the tabernacle of the congregation, and the altar, he shall bring the live goat. So keep in mind, there is an altar of incense that is in here, and the Lord did mention in his commandment that that would also be atoned for or cleansed by the blood being put on its 4 horns. So you have 2 altars overall, right? The one in the holy place and then the one on the outside. But here I believe they mentioned the holy place, right? The altar that is before the Lord, okay? And so you do have 2 altars, but the one that's directly before that mercy seat is the altar of incense. So it says here, yeah, let's just do back down to, verse 20. And when he hath made an end of reconciling the holy place, and the tabernacle of the congregation, and the altar, he shall bring the live goat. So after he kills the one goat, right, and then makes that reconciliation, then he's going to get the other one that's alive, the scapegoat. And Aaron shall lay both his hands upon the head of the live goat, and confess over him all the iniquities of the children of Israel, and all their transgressions in all their sins, putting them upon the head of the goat. Now, practically speaking, this probably did not mean that Aaron would say one by one every sin or iniquity that every Israelite had done, because there were a lot of, for what, a year, each and every Israelite, would they even remember their sins, right? But it's more than likely maybe like something you say, right, in acknowledging that you are transferring cumulatively the sins, all the sins of Israel, something like, may all the sins of Israel, right, and their transgressions be upon the head of this goat, for example, right? And he shall send him away by the hand of a fit man, that is a strong man, into the wilderness. So this once he transfers and confesses the iniquity upon the head of the goat, this fit man will basically grab up the goat and then take it into the wilderness. And the goat shall bear upon him all their iniquities into a land not inhabited, that is in some foreign region, right, where the fit man would release it. And he shall let go the goat in the wilderness. And Aaron shall come into the tabernacle of the congregation, and shall put off the linen garments, and which he put on when he went into the holy place, and shall leave them there. So now he's going to do a change of garments, right? Put off the linen garments that he had on originally. And he shall wash his flesh with water in the holy place, and put on his garments, and come forth and offer his burnt offering and the burnt offering of the people, and make an atonement for himself and for the people. And the fat of the sin offering shall he burn upon the altar. And he that let go the goat for the scapegoat shall wash his clothes. So once he releases it and he comes back, he's going to wash his clothes and bathe his flesh in water, and afterward come into the camp. And the bullock for the sin offering, and the goat for the sin offering, whose blood was brought in to make atonement in the holy place, shall one carry forth without the camp, because they had to kill the bullock, which Aaron used for his sin offering for him and his house, and the goat that was for the sin offering of the people. So they had to slay them, and so somebody's going to carry forth the bodies of those animals somewhere outside, away from the camp, And they shall burn it with fire, burn in the fire their skins and their flesh and their dung. So they're basically going to burn the body of those animals. And he that burneth them shall wash his clothes and bathe his flesh in water, and afterward he shall come into the camp. And this shall be a statute for forever unto you, that in the 7th month, in the 10th day of the month, ye shall afflict your souls, right? That's that day of atonement, and do no work at all, whether it be one of your own country, so an Israelite that is born, homeborn, born in the land, or a stranger, which the word there is gar, dealing with an Israelite foreigner that comes into the land to dwell there with you, or sojourn among you. So regardless of the state of the Israelite, this would be the same statute or law that you would follow concerning this of the Day of Atonement. And the affliction of your souls is a fast, right? It says here, and then obviously you're not going to do any work. For on that day shall the priest make an atonement for you, to cleanse you, that ye may be clean from all your sins before the Lord Yahweh. It shall be a Sabbath of rest unto you, and ye shall afflict your souls by a statute forever. And let's look into that word afflict as well. Aina, which is to be occupied, be busy with, to afflict, to humble, to afflict. Yeah, it says here, through the idea of looking down or browbeating, to depress literally or figuratively, to abase, to chasten, right? To deal hardly with. And that's when you look at an example with like fasting, that's like what we do now, for example, that's a form, okay, of afflicting your souls, okay. So let's see, it says here, where are we at? It shall be a Sabbath of rest unto you, and ye shall afflict your souls by a statute forever. And the priest whom he shall anoint, and whom he shall consecrate to minister in the priest's office in his father's stead. So the priest, like continuing in this role, the one who would take Aaron's place after Aaron is gone, shall make the atonement. So in other words, the high priest shall be the one to, perform this rite of the atonement, and shall put on the linen clothes, even the holy garments. And he shall make an atonement for the holy sanctuary, and he shall make an atonement for the tabernacle of the congregation, and for the altar, and he shall make an atonement for the priests, and for the people of the congregation. And this shall be an everlasting statute unto you, to make an atonement for the children of Israel for all their sins once a year, as he did, and he did as the Lord Yahweh commanded Moses. So this was the protocol concerning the atonement. And that brings us to the end of the book of Leviticus, the 16th chapter. Lord willing, that was edifying to the elect. In closing, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Recha Kodash. Until next time, Shalom.